First podcast.
First one, East Troy Computer Club.
Post Meetup summary.
For the Excel, connecting Excel to Google APIs and, or I guess connecting Google Sheets, I should say, and Excel to remote APIs.
I thought you were going to talk mostly about Excel, but I like that you touched on those, on Excel specific, Visual Basic specific functionality, but it was really more about what Google's doing, just because of the ease of access.
And that kind of evolved into. Sorry, I'm trying to bring up the PowerPoint here, just so we have some references. It kind of evolved into like a promotion for Google Sheets. I didn't mean for it to, but it did because I realized that the Google Sheets is more powerful than I've ever used it. I've never used those features. It was just something that I needed for the talk because I wanted to look for a different method other than Excel, because a lot of times you can use Excel, but Visual Basic is very limiting. Now, the example that I did give in Excel that I'm going to be doing for that customer, that's an actual example where it needs to pull in the all the shipment data. But that's also, since the talk, I realized that, I could just do that in Google Sheets, and then anyone can have access to it. Mm-hmm. And it might even be more powerful in Google Sheets. I don't think I had enough information in the talk relating to, because I think the title is incorrect, using Excel and Google Sheets to call remote APIs. It's more so... Yeah,
it's not like you're opening up the hood of the spreadsheet and putting in code to go grab data, but...
it relates to Excel and spreadsheets in general, because that's where a lot of businesses start. Mm-hmm. But I think it's probably more an API talk, and how, when I did the YouTube video that I posted today, the YouTube video talked more about how APIs are conduits for developers,
yes, and
Excel is a conduit for a business person. And there's a way, I think, that you have to be able to bridge gaps. So, So I would tweak the talk a little bit if I were to do it again.
The spreadsheet's a good place to. There a couple people mentioned databases at one point, and spreadsheets are kind of, we joke that they are the poor man's database, but really it's kind of very low barrier to access to exactly what a database is.
Yeah.
And I think that's an important connection, because that's how you start putting in API driven data, and then you start automating yourself, maybe even out of a spreadsheet. But
I think too, because spreadsheets are so easy for anyone like my dad or anyone else to use, they're ubiquitous. So yeah, it's the poor man's database. But if someone like my dad can organize the data that makes sense for him, it doesn't matter if the date is in the wrong format, or if sometimes he uses 2019, other times he uses just 19, because Excel or any spreadsheet program kind of manages that formatting for you. So it makes it very easy to translate that data into anything else that you want. If you want to make it into a database, well, it's easy to pull it out. Right. So, what would you add to the talk if you were to do
it? I think a bigger screen. It was hard to read a lot of the code, but it was still useful just to see you talking out the flow of getting to certain menus and options. You don't really have to see exactly what it's saying, but just to see that rehearsal of going through and where you access or enter in data, I think is very valuable.
I think I would change, or maybe show a little bit more about how to search for data, like search for what functions you need to find. Because a lot of times, how do you find the function for pulling in data on Google? Where do you even look for that? And specifically, when I was searching around for it, when I was building the PowerPoint and stuff like that, I was looking for, Google Sheets as a keyword, and then pulling JSON data. And that's how I found those functions. But a lot of times I think that if you're just casually looking at it, you're not gonna know that you need to pull JSON data or that you need to integrate with an API. You might not know the keywords, and I think that's the majority of what will make you be able to find an answer faster or slower. So I think that's what I would improve on it. But overall, good.
How long did it run? That was
That was a long talk.
You planned for like 15
minutes.
I
planned for like 15 minutes, and it turned out to be like an hour because you started like at 7:30, and then went to about like 7:40, just kind of giving updates, which we should mention too on the
huge,
podcast because there are huge updates. But I went from like 7:40 to like 8:40, so went for like an hour. And then I did the YouTube video, and that was just 45 minutes, so that's no commentary from anyone in the group. And we had great commentary from everyone that attended. That's the other thing that was really, really cool, is that there was a lot of people that jumped in and was like...
Everyone showed up for the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
everyone knew. Everyone was well educated on what we were talking about.
But there was good questions from Tim and Dave and everyone else just about schema.org questions too, or like how does... Like even just the general, like, how does Google actually get that data? Like, that's a good thinking question that is makes me think too. Like, how does it get it? And it's kind of a curious question. We should close with some of the announcements that you mentioned last night, where some people might not have heard. Yeah.
After taking a couple year break, really, we only had a few meetups over the last couple of years. We decided to turn it up, and the big announcement is that we're moving into a bigger space, a more professional space, up at Michael Fields. Their beautiful barn has a presentation space that we see filling in nicely with more professional, maybe longer form presentations, even doing, if Michael Fields is open to it, doing day-long conference-esque type of scheduling out of multiple speakers.
I'd be interested in that for sure. Just being able to just have that that conference mindset where you can go and then you feel energized and you're ready to kind of tackle other projects.
Yeah,
so.
And Michael Fields is exactly set up for that too. So it was kind of like this no-brainer once you're there, realizing like why haven't we talked to Michael Fields sooner?
Yeah.
But the cafe has been a great venue for all these years. It's just the refrigerators are too loud for some of the more quiet speakers, and they were open for dinner service now, so we don't really want to be trying to talk about spreadsheets over people eating.
Yeah, exactly.
Although I wouldn't mind that, but
I would like to partake in that. So Michael Fields is the big announcement that'll be coming up soon. I sent the executive director an email to see if we can get a couple things on the books, and then the next announcement was it wasn't really an announcement, but it was more so like the club's goal is to get corporate sponsorships. And corporate, I don't know, no one, I guess, our age likes the word corporate because we think about evil corporations. But really, it's just sponsorships from local businesses that want to help out the club. So I think that's about it. So just help out with the club expenses of Meetup and future website and kind of maintaining that stuff.
It's important that the meetups, at least on what we see as our typical schedule, are open to everyone. And that is to say that will continue to be free. I think that's an important bit. I
absolutely.
Think that'll bring a lot of kids in. I know that would have brought me in.
Well,
it's free. Yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah, and the goal, I think, that you mentioned too of the meetup is to really be able to provide a foundation or some type of learning experience where they can't get it anywhere else. So you could go on YouTube and you could watch all the videos that you want, but until you get hands-on and you really dive in with it, or someone motivates you to do it, you're lacking something. Something is deficient in your learning. And it's not nothing wrong with you on how you learn. It's just that's just the way the world works. So I think that the computer club fills in all of those gaps.
Yeah. It's the human element.
So I think the next meetup, should be announced soon, and I think we will. I don't know. I'm excited to see how many people turn out too.
Yeah, it'll be a fun one. We'll have to plan it accordingly. There's that beautiful entrance. We never asked if there's an alcohol permit. or
Oh,
if we
no, we
need
didn't.
one. But it'd be nice to be able to serve. Maybe meat. Maybe we can talk to the hive.
Yeah, get some meat on
We
site.
could just bring a cart over. It's not very far.
Or we just end the meeting like 30 minutes earlier, and then we
Or
can
move
literally
it over.
walk to the
Yeah.
hive.
Yeah.
So then it's dual purpose. Maybe the hive is our first corporate sponsor.
Maybe, there we go.
Cool.
Yeah, that was great. Great talk, Chris. I think
Thank you.
we're in for a lot of fun topics and meetups this year, and the new venue is definitely encouraging. I hope to put on some really big productions there.
Well, we're about at the 10-minute mark, surprisingly. So if everyone is listening to this, that kudos to you for listening to the first podcast where Ben and I have no idea what we're talking about except for recapping the East Troy Computer Club. But thank you for listening. Thank you for coming if you have come. If you haven't, check it out and keep tinkering.